So let's start. I think it's time. We are going to start seated today. So let's find our way onto our mats. So everybody, please feel free to sit in a way that feels comfortable to your body. I'm going to sit in Sukhasana, Indian style. But if that doesn't work for your knees today, feel free to stretch the knees out and, however you want to be. It's also really nice to grab a pillow or a little blanket and put it underneath the sits bones. If you've got a pillow handy, please feel free to use that. Then let's bring our palms down onto our legs somewhere, just so that we're making a connection with the palms on the body. Let the shoulders drop down. Let's take a breath in together, drawing the shoulders up by the ears. And exhale through the mouth, releasing the shoulders. Let's do that 2 more times. Deep breath in. And release. And once again. Then letting the shoulders stay relaxed, let's close our eyes and begin to breathe in and out through the nose. And as we do so, let's begin to turn our awareness inward. So letting go of the busy mind and allowing the mind stuff, which can get very churned up, to begin to make its way, gravitate toward stillness. And as we're breathing through the nose, let's take even breaths, softening the face and the jaw, taking a little bit deeper inhale than we usually do, and being just a little bit more deliberate with the exhale, pressing the exhale out. And I'd like to do a few ohms this morning to start our practice. So let's allow the eyes to softly open. And we'll take a few breaths where we reach our arms out and up on the in-breath. And as we draw the hands toward the heart, let's do an ohm. So let's try that together. Deep breath in, reaching the arms out and up. Om. Let's do 3 more. Deep breath in. One more. Let's let the sound of that Om linger in our ears. Let's stretch the legs out into a V shape. And let's take our hands, we'll just rotate the thighs inward a little bit. And let's reach our fingertips out to either side. As we breathe in, let's take one arm up And as we breathe out, let's lean to the side and we'll windmill back and forth. So the next breath in, we'll take the opposite arm up. And with the exhale, let's lean across. Let's go at our own pace. Breathing in and out through the nose. But as we breathe out this morning, just in your mind, make that sound of Om. Feel the Om on the exhale. Good. Let's do one more to each side. And on our next breath in, let's take both arms up to the sky. Let's bend the knees a little bit. And as we exhale, let's fold forward and we'll pause there breathing. So let the heart soften here. Let the shoulders soften and take a few deep breaths in this bigger forward fold. And gently walking the hands back up to the center line. Let's bring the feet in a little bit closer and just hook the crease of the wrist just below the kneecap. As we breathe in, let's rock forward and draw the shoulders up. And as we breathe out, let's rock backward, rounding the back. Let's take several breaths this way, warming up the spine. Here again, with each exhale, let's give the exhale the quality of the Om. So hear the Om in your mind as you exhale. Nice, let's take one more full breath with this gentle movement. Forward on the in-breath and back on the exhale. Then let's find a neutral spine and let's bring our hands back behind our back, fingertips pointing away, and we'll lean back onto our palms a little bit. Once we've got some weight on the hands, let's roll the shoulders back so the shoulder blades are hugging together a little bit. Let's inch the feet a little bit wider apart. And as we exhale, let's press one knee downward toward the center. And as we breathe in, let's draw it out again. And then the other knee. We'll exhale and press it downward toward the center line. And inhale and draw it out. So we're just moving one knee at a time. The other leg stays very stable and steady. Got a little energy between the shoulder blades to hold ourselves up here. And we're warming up into the hip. Good. Let's do one more on each side. Single knee drops. Bringing both knees out. Let's stretch our legs out in front. Coming into Dandasana, or staff pose. Let's draw the toes toward the knees so the feet are flexed, but keep the heels on the mat. As we breathe in, let's take both arms and reach them back. And as we breathe out, we'll reach forward so the hands come out over the toes. Let's do this with the breath. Inhaling to open the arms, arching the back. Exhaling to round a little bit and reach forward. And it's totally fine to have a little bend in the knee. so we're not overdoing it on the hamstrings. And let's flow with the breath. As we exhale, let's remember the sound of Om, so that the movement is flowing and musical. Beautiful. Let's do a few more, just like this. Hi, River. Now the next time that the arms float toward the feet, let's bring our palms to the soles of the feet. So bend the knees as much as you need to connect the palms with the soles of the foot. And we'll rest here breathing. So we'll continue this active breath, lengthening the spine on the in-breath and softening on the exhale, but we'll maintain this forward fold position. So I'll turn to the side so you can see me a little better. And gently unwinding this, let's come down onto our left side. And we'll lean on our left forearm a little bit. And let's have our knees stacked. So our hips are stacked, our knees are stacked, our ankles are stacked. And let's bring our right hand to our right hip. As we breathe in, we're going to slowly lift this right knee up, keeping the heels together. And as we breathe out, we'll slowly lower that knee. Let's do this with a breath. Inhaling to slowly lift as high as we can while keeping the heels together. Exhaling just as slowly with control to bring that knee back down. The hip doesn't really move. So if you're starting to move your hip, press down a little bit more through that right hand. Let's do 3 more. We already did our knee drops while we were seated, and these are some knee lifts. Working our way a little deeper into the hip and strengthening the glutes. So we'll do 1 more just like this. And when that knee comes down, we're going to lift the heels. As we lift the heels, we'll keep them together, and our tendency will be immediately to kind of slump into these left ribs. So let's draw those ribs in and up. And keeping the heels lifted, we'll do 5 more of our knee lifts, inhaling to lift the knee up and exhaling to lower. Moving nice and slow with the breath. Keeping those heels lifted, stay lifting through those left ribs. Good, let's do 2 more. Beautiful. And 1 more. And let's gently lower down so we're on our left side. We can put our hand in our head and just take this whole right hip and circle it around a few times just to work out the kinks. Breathing deep through the nose. Knee is bent. And change direction. Good. Then let's roll right onto our back. So we'll come into active rest before we do the other side. Let's have our feet hip distance apart, arms at our sides. Let's draw the shoulder blades together a little bit. We're going to lift straight up into bridge pose on the in-breath. So just like an elevator, we'll breathe in and lift the hips up, and breathe out and lower the hips down. Let's do this a few more times at the pace of our own breath. Lifting on that inhale and lowering on the exhale. Each time, let's see if we can have the feet Feel a little more alive. The quads are engaged and active. The glutes are working. Shoulder blades are hugging together. And this next time, as we rise up into our bridge, let's pause there breathing. Push into your heels. So really activate the feet. Press into the balls of the feet, pushing the ground away. Hug the glutes, so really give them a big squeeze. And let's take one more inhale. And as we exhale, let's soften everything and lower the hips down till the sacrum touches. Then let's bring one foot up. And just circle that ankle around. And change direction. We'll bring that foot down. And bring the other one up. Breathing deep through the nose, we'll circle this ankle round and round. And change direction, breathing deep. And bring the sole of that foot down. So with both feet energized on the mat, let's lift straight up into bridge, but we'll just come up halfway this time. And just sway the hips side to side. And swaying back to center, let's lower the hips down. Energizing the feet once again, let's push all the way up into our strong bridge pose. We'll hold the pose. Push into the heels. Push into the balls of the feet. Imagine the balls of the feet trying to push out and away from each other. Give the glutes a big squeeze here. See if you can lift just a little bit farther. We'll take about 3 more breaths. Energize the upper arms here. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Take one more inhale. And with our exhale, we'll gently, slowly lower the hips down to the mat. Walk the feet apart a little bit more. And just sway the knees side to side. Breathing deep through the nose. And swaying the hips back to neutral. Let's roll onto our right side. We'll prop our torso up on that right forearm. Stacking the hips, the knees, and the ankles. So the knees are bent. We'll keep the knees touching each other for now and the heels connected to each other. Lift out of these right ribs. So use a little core strength to lift those ribs upward. Put that left hand right on the hip because that's not going to move. And as we breathe in, let's lift the left knee up, keeping the heels together. And exhale just to slowly lower it on down. We'll move with the breath. Lifting on that in-breath. Nice. Lowering on the exhale. We've warmed up the glutes a little bit more, so we might be able to feel them a little bit better now. You can actively hug with that left glute muscle as you lift and lower. Let's stay lifting out of those right ribs. That'll keep less weight on that right forearm too, for using a little bit of core. Good, let's do 3 more, just like this. And we'll lower that knee down. The knees will stay connected for now. The heels will stay connected to each other, but let's lift the heels off of the mat. When we do, immediately these lower ribs are going to want to slide down, so we're going to lift them back up. We'll keep the heels lifted, and inhale, lift that knee up, and exhale, lower it with the breath. Beautiful. Each exhale, draw your core back and in. Let's do 2 more. And one more. When that knee comes down to touch, we'll let the heels come down as well. Let's slide out, so resting on our right side. We can put our hand on our head to support the head and neck. And let's just take this left hip of ours, we'll keep that knee bent and just circle it around. Breathing through the nose. Nice. And change direction. Anybody feeling your glute muscles? No? Then we'll let that leg rest. Let's roll onto our back. We'll bring our arms out wide. Bring the feet wider than the hips. And let's exhale and tip the knees toward one side. And inhale, bring them back to center. Then exhale, tip the knees the other way. Inhale, back to center. Side to side with the breath. And let's remember that sound of Om. So as you exhale, take the time to make it an Om sound in your mind. And see if that helps you lengthen that exhale a little more. One more. Bringing the knees back to the center line. Let's bring our arms to our sides again, palms down. Let's walk the feet closer together so they're hip distance apart, getting ready for another bridge pose. So as we exhale, let's push the hips straight up to the sky. Hug into the glutes a little bit. Hug those shoulder blades together. We'll hold this bridge pose. And as we do, let's tread the feet in place. So lifting one heel and then the other, kind of rolling up and down one foot and then the other. Remember to breathe nice and deep. Then let's lift both heels off the mat, pressing onto the balls of the feet. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, hug into the glutes. Breathe right into the front of the chest, so fill that space with each breath. Then on an exhale, let's lower the heels, lower the hips, stretch one leg out and then the other. Let's line up our legs, just like we would in Dandasana, or as if we're standing on our feet. Flex the feet, squeeze the glutes, draw the ribs in. Let's take our arms overhead, and as we breathe in, let's stretch in both directions. And as we exhale, let's soften everything. Let's do that movement 2 more times. Push through the heels, stretch, squeeze the glutes, hug the leg muscles in. Exhale, soften. We'll do that 1 more time. And soften. And let's bring the soles of the feet back to the mat, back to active rest. This time, let's walk the feet closer in so that they almost touch each other. The heels should still be far enough away that you can just barely touch them with your fingertips if you reach down, or maybe just a little further away than that. But they're closer in, they're less than hip distance apart. Then as we exhale, let's push our way up into bridge again. And I'm going to give 2 options. We can either lift onto the ball of one foot with our inhale and lower the heel on the exhale and go side to side that way. Or if you'd like to take this a little farther, as you breathe in, lift your whole leg up, lower on the exhale, Then the other side, lift on the inhale and lower on the exhale. Beautiful, Diane. Move with your breath. Either just lifting the heel or lifting that whole leg. Push into your arms. Support this with the upper body. One more. And we'll bring it all down, gently lower the hips. Bring the arms out a little wider, bring the feet a little wider apart, and just sway those knees side to side. And bringing the knees back to center, let's lift the hips just enough to scoop the tailbone under so that we're resting now on our lower back, and that little curve is gone for now. Let's bring our hands to each knee and rock side to side, massaging the back. Nice deep breaths through the nose. Imagine you're hearing the most beautiful music. And let's rock our way back to the center. We'll bring both legs up to the sky. Let's find our natural curve in the lower back again though. So the feet might not be directly above the hips, they might be a little further forward. We're going to take our right leg and drop it down and bring it out and back. And then our left leg will drop it down and out and circle it back. So let's inhale to drop the leg, exhale to circle it back. Big slow circles. Inhale down, exhale back. You'll find that we're working our way into our core as well as doing this beautiful hip opener here. If you'd like to work a little harder through the core, reach the legs even further away. You're just moving one at a time. Big smooth circle, very nice. Let's do one more of these. Then bring both feet down. Push into the feet, lift the hips halfway to bridge, and just sway those hips side to side. Then let's sway back to center. Set the sacrum down on the mat. Let's bring our right knee in close. Stretch the left leg out long. As we exhale, let's pull that thigh straight in as close as we can hug it in. And as we breathe in, let's push the knee away until the arms straighten. So we'll exhale, pull the thigh straight in toward the belly. Inhale, push it away until the arms straighten. Let's do that 2 more times. And then let's switch our legs. As we switch legs, let's also change our clasp so that the other pointer finger is in front. We'll exhale, pull this thigh in close. Inhale, push it away, straighten through the arms with the breath. See if your exhale can still have that quality of Om. See if that allows you to lengthen out the exhale just a little bit more. It's so good for our physical and mental digestion. Let's do one more. bringing that knee back to center. We'll bring the other knee up. And let's take our hands now behind the crease of the knees. I'm going to give two options here. We're going to do another rocking movement. You can roll up and down, depending on the surface that you're on and how your back feels. Maybe that's not a good move for you today. If you're finding that's the case, then just rock side to side instead. If it feels good to roll up and down, then we'll take a few breaths doing that. Rolling up and down like this stimulates the spinal column, and it's invigorating. And rolling the other way is one of my favorite yoga moves, great for massaging the back. Let's roll our way up to seated position. And let's make our way up to standing. So come all the way up. When we arrive, let's bring our feet right underneath the hips. Let's let our arms hang at our sides. And as we breathe in, let's rock onto the balls of the feet. And as we breathe out, let's roll onto the heels. That's surprisingly hard. Roll forward on the inhale and back on the exhale. My left foot is on board, but my right foot's like, I don't know. So just notice these little anomalies. We'll kind of knead them out. And the next time we roll onto the balls of the feet, let's pause there. Put a little teeny bend in the knees. As we breathe in, we'll take our arms up to the sky. And as we breathe out, we'll release the arms back. So let's breathe in through our nose, out through the mouth. Staying on the balls of the feet. We're toning the legs. Strengthening the feet. Let's do two more. And let that go. Give the arms a shake. And let's walk our feet out so they're wider than the hips now. Bringing the hands to the hips. Let's circle the hips round and round. As we do, let's let the whole torso turn. Let the shoulders stay soft. Make this an epic hula hoop move, so getting those hips as wide as we can. And let's circle the other way. Great big circle. Make this the biggest, widest circle that you can make. Yeah. Great. Round and round. Let's circle our way back to center. When we get there, let's bring our feet together again into Tadasana so the insteps touch. Then let's come onto the ball of our right foot. So let's just hover the ball of that right foot on the mat. So we've got a little bit of turnability there. Then as we breathe in, let's open that knee out to the side. And as we breathe out, we'll bring it forward again. So we'll inhale and open it out to the side. Exhale, bring it forward. Nice, one more time. And let's let the sole of that right foot come down. We'll balance on it. Come onto the ball of that left foot. And we'll almost unweight it, so it's almost hovering. Then as we breathe in, let's open that knee out as wide as we can. And exhale, bring it back straight forward. Move in with your breath. Opening on the inhale, returning on the exhale. Good. One more time. And coming on back, let's tread out both feet. So just kind of walking in place. We'll let both feet settle. Let's bring the feet as wide as the hips again and slide the palms down to cover over the kneecap so the knees are bent. As we breathe in, let's reach the tailbone back and the heart forward. And as we breathe out, let's round the back. Standing cat-cow. And let's do a few more of these. As we exhale, let's Om. We'll inhale and lengthen. Exhale, Om. One more time. Om. And soften. We'll walk the feet out a little bit wider apart. Putting our weight in our heels, we'll drop the hips back. Then as we exhale, let's reach one shoulder toward the opposite knee. As we breathe in, let's come back to the center line. And then exhale the other shoulder toward the opposite knee. Inhaling center. We'll go side to side. Knees are pretty bent here. Hips are reaching back like we're trying to reach the wall and back of us with our hips. One more time. And coming back to center, let's push our way up. We'll keep our feet wider than the hips and walk them even just a little bit wider. And let's have the toes either pointed straight ahead or just a little bit in. Then let's bend our knees, bring the hands to the hips. As we breathe in, let's rock forward onto the balls of the feet. And as we breathe out, let's rock back onto the heels. With the breath. Nice, and let's do one more. As the heels come down, let's push into the legs, straightening them. Let's reach the arms out and up. And exhale the hands to the heart. Let's do that arm movement one more time. Great big breath in. And exhale the hands to the heart. Let's walk the feet closer together again. Feet just hip distance apart. Let's put a little more weight in the balls of the feet again. Let the arms come to our sides. We're going to do 3 or 4 more of these movements. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. And let's make a swish sound. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Let's do a few more. Anything we need to put in the junk pile, we'll just dump it. 3 more. One more. And lift, deep breath in. Exhale. Shake it out. Then let's bring our hands to our hips. We'll bring our weight onto our left foot. We're going to, again, bend this right knee a little bit and balance on the ball of that right foot. So we can either do that hip opening move right here, like we did before, or challenge our balance a little bit more this morning by lifting that right foot up. So this is our crane pose. Hip stays steady. We can inhale and slowly open that hip out, and exhale, slowly bring it into the center line. Notice the shoulders want to draw way up. The shoulders could soften, but let's stay tall through the torso, drawing the core in. Nice, Jamie, beautiful. The next time that we bring that knee in again, let's release that foot down, let's release the arms, and just tread out the feet and then marching in place. Then let's bring our weight onto our right foot. Hands can come back onto the hips. We'll either just come onto the ball of that left foot and keep it on the ground, or lift it. Then as we're ready, we'll breathe in and open that hip out as wide as we can without turning the hip, and back to center with the breath. If you'd like another variation on this side, you could bring the hands to the heart, or for an even bigger challenge, you could reach the arms overhead. Find a variation that feels like a good challenge for you this morning. Let's do one more. And we'll bring that foot down, bring the arms down if they're up, release them, tread out the feet. And let's walk the feet out so they're wider than the hips. Hands to the hips. Great big hip circles. Round and round. One more big hip circle in this direction. Then change direction. Great big circle. One more time. And we'll circle those hips back to center, release the arms, walk the feet inward so they're hip distance or a little wider. Micro bend in the knees. So as we bend the knees, we'll also let the tailbone kind of drop down so the lower back is really long. And just sway the arms side to side. And let's sway our way back to neutral, arriving there eventually. When we do, let's bring our hands to those hips again, bringing our weight onto our left foot. We'll bring that right knee up, and we'll come into a tree pose and hold the tree pose this time. The ball of that right foot might stay touching the ground. We open that knee out. We want to draw the standing leg hip inward, or maybe this right foot is up higher on the leg somewhere. We just don't want it right on the knee joint, wherever we end up bringing it. So let's find a good height, and we'll hold the pose. Maybe bringing the hands to the heart, or we'll bring the arms up. Beautiful, mom. Drawing the core in, face is soft. Beautiful, Donna. Swaying with the breeze of the breath. And slowly, gently, let's bring it on down. Let's tread out those feet. And before we do the other side, we'll bring our hands to our hips, bringing our weight onto that left foot. We're going to reach those left toes way forward as if we're about to take a big funny walk step. Then we're going to circle that leg back behind us, straight back, and then swing it forward. So reach it forward, swing it out, back behind us, and back to center. Big semicircles, forward, out, back, and center. One more time. And back to center. We'll tread out the feet. Then let's bring our weight onto our right foot, getting ready for tree pose on this side. We'll open that hip out. The sole of that left foot might be touching the mat in some way, or maybe we bring it up higher on the side. Either way, the standing leg hip, we want to draw it in towards center, so we're getting nice and tall. Finding our alignment on this side. And then taking whatever variation we want to take with the arms. The more we lift the arms, the more invigorating the pose will be, but also the more challenging because we're raising our center of gravity. So let's stay tuned in to the core, feeling the power of the Ohm on the exhale, drawing us into the core. Really nice and deep. Everybody looks so beautiful. So let's take one more inhale. With that exhale, let's come on down. All the way down, arms release. Let's tread out the feet. Then bring in the hands back to the hips. We'll balance on our right foot. That left leg will stay pretty straight. We'll reach it forward and then out, back, and center. Breathing through the nose. Keeping that right hip very steady if we can. And release. Tread out the feet one last time. So from here, let's mount our way. I'd like to do just one downward dog to stretch our backs out. So let's mount our way down until the palms come to the mat. We can walk our feet back. So finding that downward dog. Let's keep a little micro bend in both knees. But let's push our left heel down to the mat, softening through that right knee and letting there be a bend in that right knee. Let's take a couple of breaths right here. And then we'll gently lift that left heel a little bit and press down through the right heel. Hopefully. Make a bend in that left knee. Nice deep breaths. And putting a little micro bend in both knees, let's gently lower the knees down to the mat and staying with a puppy pose. So we'll walk the hands forward a little bit, softening to the heart. Let's stretch those fingertips forward and pull the hips back. And let's gently sway the hips side to side here. And swaying the hips back to neutral, let's rest our forehead on the mat. So we'll adjust however we need to rest the forehead there. Keep some energy in the palms. And just pull the hips back slightly. And we'll take a few more deep breaths right here. Feel free to exhale through the mouth. But please make the exhale thorough and complete. And gently, slowly, let's walk our hands back in. And let's swivel around so that we're sitting. Let's stretch the legs out in front for Dandasana pose. We'll reach our arms forward And then slowly as we can, so take in maybe 3 breaths. Let's tuck our chin and roll partway down and pause. Shoulders drop back. Then we'll roll down partway again and pause. And we're going to roll until we're just hovering like an inch off the mat. Just a little gratuitous sadism this morning. We'll pause for reflection. And then with an exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly roll the rest of the way down. When we arrive, let's take our arms overhead, line up the feet, flex the muscles of the lower body, including the glutes. So they're snugging in. Draw the ribs down and in. As we breathe in, let's stretch from fingertips to heels, squeeze the muscles and reach. Exhale, release. We'll do that 2 more times. Squeezing every muscle, reach on the inhale. Exhale, release. 1 more time. And bringing our arms down at our sides, let's walk the feet in, so we're coming into an active rest pose. Let's walk the feet a little bit closer than usual, so a little less than hip distance apart. We'll bring the right ankle just above that left knee. So I'm going to give a couple of options here. We've done this stretch before. This is a great hip opener for this right leg. The usual way that we do it is just to elevate that left foot. You can feel how that brings us into that right glute. So you have the option of doing that, or today, since we did so many hip openers and strength builders, we can really push into that left foot and lift the hips up, pressing that right knee out and away. Feel that in our left hamstring. Yeah. Hug the shoulder blades together. Let's take 1 more inhale with this. Then exhale, soften, lower down. We'll keep that right ankle where it is. And now unweight that left foot. We'll take our whole lower body, both legs, keeping them in relation to each other, just the same. But we'll tip the whole thing to the right, just an inch or 2. Soften the shoulders. Flex those right toes. Breathing deep into that right hip. Let's gently release this. We'll unwind the legs. We're going to do 1 standard bridge pose here before we do the other side. We'll slowly, gently lifting both hips up. Walk the shoulder blades toward each other. Let's take about 3 full breaths in our bridge pose. So good for the heart. All of our vital organs here getting a nice lift. Great for helping with inhale. So let's take 1 more great big inhale. And as we exhale, let's gently, slowly lower on down. Back to active rest. Crossing that left ankle above the right knee. And then again, just jumping right into our usual hip release, or pushing into that right foot, lifting the hips. We'll take 3 or 4 breaths in this lifted position. If you're choosing that lifted variation, we'll slowly lower it on down until the sacrum connects to the ground. When we get there, we'll unweight that right foot, drawing that right thigh a little closer, and just tilting the whole lower body to the left, just an inch or 2. Let both shoulders soften. And gently unwind. Let's stretch one leg out and then the other for Shavasana. Letting the arms release to our side. Let's take a slow, deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. 2 more breaths like that. Deep breath in. Big exhale. 1 more. And let the eyes close. Just breathe through the nose, letting go of all effort. So not trying to breathe in any special way. And as you rest in Shavasana, I'd like to tell you or remind you that the yogis believed Om was the primordial sound. And they believed that the Om was the sound of harmony. The harmony that underlies all of the apparent chaos and craziness. Not that we have any of that. They believe that Om was that underlying sound of harmony. So see if you can hear it. Many of the old-time people, ancient people, including our ancestors, believed this. They believed in the music of the spheres, that the celestial bodies had music, sound, and that it was harmonious. So see if you can get quiet enough that we can access that space of deep listening for the harmony. And let's deepen the breath. Wiggling the fingers and the toes. Taking time to stretch and move in any way that feels good to your body. And as you're ready, just slowly, gently make your way to a centered seat. Softening the eyes or closing the eyes as you get there. Bringing the hands together at the heart. I've muted everybody and I can't seem to see how to unmute everybody, so we'll each have our own Om. Let's take our arms out and up together. Deep breath in. Om. Thank you all so much for coming this morning. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.